Hey, how's it going, Zanty? Unfortunately, Rumble did not work out so well, so we're going to have to play around with that a bit. But what we're going to be talking about today is the SM19 Flash. And there's been a lot of questions that have been coming up on our social media about the original creator. And I'm hoping I can touch this without YouTube freaking out, since it's not actually a firearm. But this is the original that we created, I want to say March, April timeframe of 2023. And we even brought on a collaboration version that we did with Leo Precision, where it has their Raptor cut on it, right there on the muzzle. And really, that's all the difference is with that version. That's kind of like their stylish choice on a lot of their slides, kind of their mark. They love, I'm not sure if that's actually called a Raptor cut, but it's what they call it before they went out of business. And so they were bought out by Desert Cat USA, which is another slide manufacturing company. They bought all of Leo Precision's slides. They bought all of their plans, all of their models, and now they make them and sell them. And so people kind of put two and two together. They look at one slide and look at the other and go, oh, well, isn't that the same thing? And yeah. And so how that went about is, at one point, Leo Precision and Stiffler Manufacturing were working in the same building. Two separate machine shops, same building. And they kind of took the idea of the Flash and made some modifications to it. A big one would be, we do the rectangular window here, and they choose to do two oblongs to try and match the ported barrel. I wish I had one of their slides to do a comparison. Other noticeable differences will be obviously the Raptor cut, which ours do not have compared to this little collab version we did. And they use a different RMR plate cover than ours. And besides that, just talking about that, just answering people's questions. So if you have any, shoot. Yeah, it does take some getting used to. This is our second live that we've ever done. So we'll have to see what we're doing wrong and get Rumble working. Let's see if I can switch this over. And do a little show of comparison there. Thank you. Definitely our first one. We went through and got several others made. Our second one would have been our Viper. instead of the vents, we went with 3 windows. Orange one will probably show up a little better. And then, though it wasn't our third released, it was our third made, was the Leonidas. Just kind of went a little more aggressive on those vent cuts. Third made was probably the Hellet, and I don't have a zoom on hand, but just front serrations, rear serrations, kind of like the Gen 5. There we go, that one shows up a little better. Oh, I wish we could have gotten Rumble working. We could have shown some complete builds, but I think this will do fine for now. And our latest that we are releasing through one of our distributors, and hopefully will be on our website soon, a little similar in appearance to the Flash with concepts taken from the Zoom. We call this the SM19 Turbo. Something specifically requested by a distributor, so we made that for them, and we'll be making it for customers as well. Let's see. There we go. If you can see that, that is the LP9 or LP19 Crusher that people were confused by, that Desert Cat bought. You'll notice that the RMR plate cover is different, as well as the top windows, which are 2 oblong cuts, as well as the Raptor cut on the front. Everything else remains the same. And this isn't like a got you on, Desert Cat. They're probably doing, what they think is the right thing. They just bought the company from Leo Precision. So, it's not like oh, hey, we got you. You're making our thing. You're copying us. It's something Leo Precision did. And when they sold the company, the new guys just kind of got saddled with it. Funny enough, we're both in Arizona, so maybe we'll end up doing a meet and greet someday. Who knows? There we are. How's it going, Sticks? How are you doing? And if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. There is a plan for that, Xanthi. We do want to eventually laser engrave our logo on the slides. And each one will be in a slightly different location, just due to the slides designs. I'm thinking on the Flash, we will probably do it right on the front, right about here. We'll just have like a mini dragon. And then something like the Viper, we might do it right about here and just have them laser engraved. Well, thankfully that's not for sale. These are all ones we use for our own personal builds. We go to the range with them, break them in. So these ones here, we don't make them anymore. This collaboration that we did with Leo Precision temporarily with their little Raptor cut. We don't make them anymore. We're not going to make them ever again. Yeah, 20% off, Santi. It'll probably end up being one of our blem slides on eBay. No, but all these ones here, they end up getting put on frames, and we end up using them or showing them off, shooting them. But yeah, every now and then there is a blem. The Cerakote didn't cure properly, or there was a machine kiss on it where it just didn't, cut properly, and there you can see there's a little bit of a gouge or a scratch that Cerakote is not going to cover. And it's like, well, drop 15, 20% off. And sure enough, that's where we get a lot of the people who like to do their own custom work to them. There's one guy out there I know, every now and then he buys several slides and he just polishes them to a mirror finish. And it's almost always a blem slide he picks up where there's just some minute scratches that he'll polish through and turn it into a mirror finish slide. Does some pretty cool work, actually. And then he turns around and sells them on Gunbroker or on eBay or wherever. But yeah, we won't be selling these ever. We're actually sold the last of them off to a small company. What was it? RBT or something like that. And they're probably going to sell them off or make builds with them or whatever they're going to do with them. But we won't be making those ever again. We'll have a few coming up. We're looking at 17s sometime during Q2. So we'll have 17s of the Viper. And after that, probably the Zoom. And probably the Pellet after that. And from there, I don't know. We might do 43s. We might go into 43s 2026, maybe. All kind of depends on how the market goes. Yeah, people have been asking for 17s for a long time, sometimes to the point of harassment. And we do have a prototype. I'll have to bring it on the live sometime. We need to fix some of the tool paths for it. And now that we've got some more machines in the shop, that's where we're going to think about Q2. We think we can actually release it. But we've been getting asked for it since we started back in January of 2023. Hey, win a 17, win a 43, win a 26. What are you guys doing? A 34, 17 long? And we'd love to do them all at some point. Make one that looks like a dragon. We've got a name for one that's kind of like a dragon. We just haven't quite figured out the design yet. Someday. Oh God, once we get those 17s going, they're just going to sell like hotcakes. We'll have to reach out to every vendor, every distributor that's asking for them. 3D effect. Actually, I'm kind of curious now. Did this even get a ding? No. No. Nope. No 15% off. No 20% off. She's perfect. Almost perfect. Yep, that's why we pulled this one off the line. Cerakote didn't cure on the bottom. Probably really hard to see. But right along here, there's some spotting where the Cerakote did not cure properly. Yep, that's why we pulled this one off. It's always something like that. We are our person in charge of quality control. If she sees the most minute defect it gets pulled off the line. And either it gets recycled and we try again, or it gets sold as a blem on our eBay store. Which actually did the screen share work for you guys? Because I can probably just show you the eBay store. See if we have any blems on there right now. Yeah, we do. We do have some blems. Cerakote's more like a paint coating. It depends on moment. The dog wants attention. So it's more like a paint coating. And it depends on the series that you get. So if you get like H series, it needs to be cured in an oven, or F series. I believe C series is air dry, but it takes a lot longer. There we go, where we have some of our blems listed. Oh, that's right. We're doing new camos.
Sorry, man. Just give me a text when you or call.
Yeah, they're airbrushed on. So we have lines hooked up to an air compressor, and they get sprayed right on. If you look at our YouTube and our Instagram, you can actually see videos where we post it, where we do a lot of spraying, pre-spraying, prep work on our paint booth. We did look into powder coating a while back, and we just ended up deciding on Cerakote. But we might get into some PVD coming up. We are switching out some colors. That new F series with Cerakote, it cures faster, and supposedly we need to test it out a little bit. Supposedly it is stronger than the H series, so we'll have to see. But it definitely cures faster, which is helpful when you're trying to get out hundreds of slides. I think this week alone we sent out like 400 slides. We've seen some great work with rattle can, honestly. Some of the things people do with their frames and with their gun stocks is pretty damn awesome. There's a Glock build only page on Facebook, and the stuff they are doing with rattle can is amazing. Oven, H series and F series. I think C series was the air dry series. About 250 degrees. Like pull that up on the Cerakote site too. There is this really great purple I want to try out, but they don't make it in an oven cure series. So we might have to mix a few together and try and create that purple. I've seen a few do that. There's one guy I saw on YouTube. He got an old oven that he found on Craigslist, and he just moves it outside. They will never use it for cooking again. Oh, that depends on which Cerakote coating it is, Sticks. So H series, you're looking at 1 to 2 hours. F series, apparently 15 minutes to an hour. Yeah, it feels like a lot longer though when you're making a lot of them. So when you have to spray 20, 30 slides in one go, because while you're spraying, there's a shelf life on the Cerakote that you just mixed. So if you don't spray fast enough, your Cerakote actually starts to harden inside the hopper and inside your spray nozzle. I don't think I'd want to eat anything on the oven I'm cooking or I'm cooking slides in. And it's a little bit. I got several builds just right here on the desk, ready to fully pull out PSA, daggers, polymer 80, OEM Glocks with some of the slides, and I can't show them on YouTube Live. Yeah, definitely can't touch it. I've seen a few of our fellow gun tubers that have just touched it, and all of a sudden they get a warning. We know of one where his dog went in front of the camera, and they got a warning. Wild. Yeah, so PVD, we're still learning more about it, and whether or not we're going to do it personally or we're going to contract another company out to do it. But it's different instead than Cerakote, where it's just sprayed on and oven cured. It's where the material is condensed onto the surface of the slide through a chemical process. So kind of different than like electrolysis, where you can anodize onto it, like where you can electroplate, but also different than spraying. So it's something I've still got to learn a little more about, and whether we end up doing it or whether we end up contracting someone out to do it for us, I guess it just depends on cost. That's ridiculous. This is why everyone's going to Rumble. Well, then once I can figure it out, we're probably just going to Rumble permanently, and then we'll upload videos of our lives or whatever else to YouTube, and just kind of encourage people to go to Rumble. But I've got to see what we did wrong as to why it's not working. I know there's another one. There was an FV Ordnance where he does lives where his camera just faces his gun so everyone can see them, but he doesn't touch them. Okay. Oh, the sign, yeah. We should probably get some funny stuff up. We've got just this flag for the background. It's one we hang up in the shop. But we've got a few other ones. There's a white one. There's a red one. There's a few military ones, Army and Marine Corps. So maybe I'll just swap them around. How hot do you get the slide? I'm assuming not very, maybe 100 degrees at most, 120. Sleepy roofer. We used to do some roofing work. My dad, my brother, and I. And I tell you, that gets hard on the knees and the back, real easy. It's especially when you end up carrying shingles up a freaking ladder. That's wonderful. It always surprises me how many people hire a roofer either to tar their roof or replace shingles in June and July. Yeah, it's a great sign. I love his sign. Okay, so definitely not that hot. Okay. Maybe what, like 80 degrees maybe then? I'm glad they're not giving me any crap for showing the slides. That's definitely nice that they're not restricting me for these. I wonder if they would restrict me for showing the frame. Probably. Yeah, yet. We've actually gotten restricted on Facebook quite a bit just for posting slide pictures. The most recent one, and they still give us warnings about it, even though it's already long deleted, is we were wishing the Marine Corps a happy birthday. We were doing a military sale for November because Marine Corps birthday, Veterans Day, what have you. And they restricted the hell out of our account for several months. And we're still getting notifications about it. Your account is potentially going to be deleted. Your account's going to be removed, et cetera, et cetera. Oh, how's that? I probably haven't seen that notification yet. Hey, how's it going, Damien? Just showing off a few slides. Had a brief little PSA about the flash slide from earlier and how it relates to Desert Cat and Leo Precision. Jesus. Anything meta is just horrible with what they restrict and how quick they are and how quick they are to restrict you, but how slow they are to investigate it and see that you didn't do anything wrong. A big one that we experience is their rules say you can't post guns and certain things unless you're a business. And as a business, you either need a brick and mortar location or an online retail store. So we have a brick and mortar machine shop and we have an online retail store. Several, actually. If you count eBay and Native Gun and whatever else. But whoever restricts us doesn't seem to care about that little portion of the rule that says, hey, if you're a business, you can still do this. And when you try to explain it to them, they don't listen and they restrict you anyway. So that's actually what got us banned on Reddit. The rules stated that we as a business could post what we were posting. And there's no really appealing, like you can appeal once and there's no appealing higher. There's no like, hey, the rules say we can do this. It's whatever Reddit admin decides to ban you, you're screwed. Your account's done. And that's happened to quite a few businesses. Us, Superior Trigger, God, who else? I think Johnny Glock was on there for a little bit. A few other accounts. One of them was an 80% frame seller. I'm trying to remember his name, but they got banned off Reddit. And all businesses, all brick and mortar or online retail, and all of them banned, which is just wild. Actually, yeah, Desert Cat was on there for a little while too, but then all of a sudden their posts ended up deleted. And I don't know if they got banned too or if they just deleted everything themselves and backed away. But it is what it is. Reddit is not gun friendly, not Second Amendment friendly. Well, neither is YouTube really, or even eBay. And Meta most certainly is not, and everything under it. So Facebook, Instagram, Threads, whatever else they own. And X is, or formerly Twitter, is hit or miss. It seems like some in the 2A industry get banned and some don't. Hey, Kurt, how's it going? Just going over some slides. Got a brief little PSA about how our flash slide, this one right here, was copied by Leo Precision with their LP19 crusher, and how Desert Cat bought Leo Precision as they were going out of business, and now they make the same copy of that slide. And we just want to be clear that we don't blame, Desert Cat. It's not their fault. They were just in a position to buy out another business, and they did. And we're in the same state. Maybe we'll talk to each other one day, maybe not. But for people who see the slides and they have a few brain cells between them, they go, wait a minute, these two kind of look the same. Who makes what? And we actually fell into that quite a bit before our distributor went live with, we were making their slides for them. One of our other distributors was, or it still is, Delta Team Tactical. We sell a lot of slides for their Mercury Precision line. So people kind of put two and two together. Hey, these slides look the same. Did you make it, or did Delta make it, or so on and so forth? So now that that's been handled, no longer white labeled, Delta informs everyone, yes, we procure slides through Stiffler, and we are allowed to say the same thing back, which is pretty awesome. Cactus Cat, Desert Cat. I did talk to some of their employees, or at least one of their employees briefly. They seemed pretty friendly. But then that whole issue with Reddit started happening where businesses were getting targeted, and never heard from them again. For all we know, they were banned just like we were, which is super unfortunate, but Reddit is what Reddit is. And they are not 2A friendly. I wonder how much that Crump has dealt with. A lot with Meta and Reddit and so on. Actually, Kurt, you probably missed this one. This is one of our former slides that we no longer make anymore. It looks almost exactly like the Flash, but it has the Leo Precision iconic Raptor cut on the muzzle. We still have a few of them lying around. I believe we sold most of them out to a company called RBT. But that's usually how you can tell the iconic Leo Precision style is they have that Raptor cut right there on the muzzle. That was their iconic design choice for most of their slides. And when they went and did a copy of our slide where we have the square window, I wish I had one to show comparison of. I could probably just share the screen again though. Here it is right here. If you guys can see the screen, you'll see they have the Raptor cut on the muzzle, right there on the nose. But instead of the rectangular top window, they have two oblongs for the ported barrel. And then on the rear, you can see the RMR plate is a different style than ours as well. But everything else, same exact. And those are both Cerakotes that we use as well as graphite black on the back end and tungsten on the front. Oh, so get one while you can if you see a Stormtrooper white, because we are switching our whites to Arctic white. And the Arctic has a bit more of a matte finish, whereas the Stormtrooper has a glossy kind of finish. So if that's what you want, anything that we might have, pick it up while you can. because we are not making the Stormtrooper white Cerakote anymore. We're switching completely to Arctic. And we do this occasionally every now and then where we pick a different color because it's easier to spray, or because the color we're getting rid of just wasn't very popular. Like we used to have one called Blue Raspberry that was not very popular. And it took us a full year to sell every slide we made. And so we just stopped stocking that Cerakote. Oh, that's unfortunate. I wonder if their tap didn't. I wonder how they did that. If when they were tapping, it didn't work right for their 632, or I mean, at least you got your money back. I mean, with us, if something like that happens, just reach out to us and we can do a swap, get you a new one. But our QC person is so anal retentive about it that something that I might miss or go, oh, that's just a tiny little speck. Like, no one's ever going to notice that. She will go, nope, nope, this slide's gone. This slide goes to the blemish pile. We're making a new one. And I honestly say we have to love her about that because she keeps us on our toes. She makes sure everything we do is 100%. And if something for some reason misses QC because we were up for 18 to 22 hours and we just missed it, if a customer has an issue, we just replace it for them. Just reach out to us and no problems there. Yeah, we still have some Stormtrooper white in stock, so people can still order it. And for those who have a question about pre-orders, all of our slides are technically made to order, which is why it says pre-order. Occasionally, we'll have them right in stock, like Graphite Black. We often have in stock, or Red Habanero, just because we make them so often. We need to sometimes get ahead of the game and put some on the shelf. Oh, nice. Yeah, I've seen quite a few of the Stormtrooper whites, and they look amazing. Hey, Fire Rider, how you doing? Just showing off some slides today and talking about similarities between us, the former Leo Precision, and the new Desert Cat. And I am very happy that YouTube is not giving me a lot of shit for showing off slides. I am not going to touch the frames, though. And if Dark shows up, unfortunately, I can't do a strap check because we're not on Rumble. But he is getting that SIG P320. Oh, okay. You know, one that we need to try with the clear coat for Cerakote is a while back, and we're probably never going to do this in high numbers, if at all, is we actually gold plated a slide. But the concern is that gold is a soft metal and that the light coating is likely to wear out with use, and when firing it, it's just going to wear away. So we wonder if we polish the slide, we plate it in gold, and then we coat it in a clear coat, will that protect it enough so that it still looks, brilliantly shining in 24 karat gold? We actually get a request for it quite often. People ask, can I get a gold plated slide? And we did it just to see if we could, and it's expensive. I mean, getting a bucket of the gold for the gold plating, it's just expensive. And we can't imagine the majority of people who buy slides are going to buy a lot of that. So I doubt it's something we'll do very often. Oh, sweet damn, Kurt. All right. Tell me you used code DARK. Get you your 50 or your 10% off. Oh God, Kurt, that's amazing. I need to think of when our next sale is going to be. We used to do a color of the month every month, and we'll do. I know we got some. Now it's just only around the holidays. We used to every month, our first year and a half, we did color coded codes of color of the month, and some of them sold, some of them didn't. You know, people like what they're like. They're going to buy what color they want, regardless of what's on sale. So I'm trying to think what our next one's probably going to be. Probably around 4th of July. Probably do something, maybe all red, white, and blue slides, 15% off or something. Danish slides are bronze. We do love burnt bronze. Burnt bronze is great. Probably in our top 5 sellers, black, red habanero, burnt bronze, flat dark earth, and Jesse James green is coming up there. People really like that forest green color. I saw someone do that, Kurt, and it looks amazing. I wish if I had a photo of it. I'm sure I do somewhere. Let's see if I can find one. But I believe it's a Stormtrooper white helmet. No, not a helmet. Maybe it was a Viper. Either way, it looks amazing. Let's see. Finish slides. Nah, I can't find it. Ah, well. It was an amazing looking slide, though. Strip the coating off Cerakote, sandblasting. And some of them are a lot harder than others. For example, Stormtrooper white actually takes quite a bit to get off compared to, say, like Sniper gray. That comes off a lot easier than Stormtrooper white does. Yeah, well, they do Gen 3 parts kits. In our completes, we use SCT Manufacturing for the parts kits. Oh, I see. Interesting. $48. Oh, a 48 slide. Sorry, misread that. I thought you ordered 48 slides. So I hope you got a wholesale order on that. Let's see, slide with frame. There it is. Okay. See if I can share the screen and show you that one. Okay. Now, and so if you can see that, that is a Stormtrooper white helmet with a copper barrel on a PSA frame. And I want to say that magazine is a Men 2, and I did not like that magazine at all. I don't know if I just got like a bad magazine or It was pretty cheap though. I found it in like a bargain bin for like $5. Figured I'd try it out. Did not like it. Oh, I saw the Valor came out. I do have our new slide for the 19, and that is the turbo. About to send off 100 of these to a distributor. Is that going through, do you know, Kurt, that whole colored slide issue? Because that is an awful freaking law. Oh, yeah. Love that chamfer. We would have to make a decision on whether or not we just choose not to sell specific colored slides, or if we just cut off sales to that state. And granted, if I remember the way the law was worded, it's a buyer has, I think, like a 2-week time frame to then convert the slide to an acceptable color. So really the onus isn't on us as a business, but why would we want to set our customers up for failure if their state has some bogus law? So it's just easier to, and that's also kind of like what happened with Polymer 80, right? Is they got sued for laws in other states, despite the fact that they were in Nevada, because they were selling across the country. And so that's just something, why deal with it? I hope they do. Yeah, I hope GOA gets involved, or maybe FPC, or both. Why not? I'm definitely curious to see what goes down with the ATF over the next year. It's just so amusing that this slide, perfectly legal, if that were to pass. This slide, exact same, just different color, would not be legal. Exact same slide, exact same specifications. It's ridiculous. It's like most gun laws, really. They target something insignificant to try and ban the whole thing. EU. I don't know if we followed them. I'll have to check. Let's see here. We do not. Subscribing right now. If you've got any slide questions or production questions, feel free to ask. Otherwise, I can just keep showing these off and wait till YouTube has a conniption fit about it. I wonder if they'd lose their mind over our Liberty slide. See if I can share that. We got this as a request during July 2024, and they wanted a blended slide, half and half, which I believe at the time was NRA blue and crimson red, and then speckled Stormtrooper white. And I think if we make them again in the future, it'll still be NRA blue, but we'll do red habanero, where it has that metallic flake in it, and then we'll do Arctic white for the speckling. So this cookies and cream is definitely getting popular. Yeah, we're getting a constant request. Well, Shooting Gallery really wants Viper in cookies and cream. What steel are Glocks? God, I used to know that answer off the top of my head. Ours are made from 17.4 stainless steel. A lot of slide manufacturers out there use 416, which is good gun steel. It's just not as strong as 17.4. I wonder if they actually release that. Some gun companies are very restrictive on like what their steel quality is. Either because they don't want competition to know, or in the case of some other sketchier ones, they don't want to admit that they're using crappy steel. Hmm. Nope, can't see offhand. Oh, you bought 2 Zooms. Oh, that's awesome. Thanks, Kelvin. I wish I had Zooms with me to show some off. I've got the Leonidas, the Hellet, Viper, a Flash, an ancient Flash we're never going to make again, and the Turbo. But all 17.4 stainless steel, coated in Cerakote. Actually, your Zoom will look a little similar to this, just without the ported window on top. And then the RMR plate will be aluminum. Awesome. Actually, someone is, and this is something we don't do all the time, but if you've got a good story or you can show an outstanding failure, or maybe we're in the great mood, but we are replacing a REM Sport slide for someone, and it was made from 416R. And oh, yeah, well, there you go. So yeah, we're replacing one from them. I guess something about it is slightly out of spec. We're gonna have to check it out, but the person can't use it anymore. And so we, for a little bit there, we're telling people, hey, if your slide's broken, if the slide's cracked, if it's out of spec, and it just doesn't work, reach out to us, and we'll replace your slide with one of ours. And all you have to do is mail it out to us, and we'll do a quick check on it. And we'll want to know a few things too, like, hey, what company did you get it from? What steel is it made from? How did it break? You know, and then we will do a quick, basically just a trade. You know, trade your broken slide for our working one. And we've done that a few times. I'm not sure if we're going to keep doing it for too many rock slides, just because at this point everybody should know they're prone to failure, at least according to social media and everyone's. I wonder if I can still find that post now that we're banned on Reddit. Let me see here. Reddit broken slide. Yep, I found it. All right. We'll share that with you guys. Yes, that is unfortunate. They really are, and they're cheap. Really cheap. Well, here we go. Here's that Reddit post from ages ago. Not ages, 5 months ago. And as you can see, the slide cracked. And so if this happens to people, we'd love to get them back to the range, and we'll just do a swap. For something that's kind of equivalent to one of our slides. God, that's just awful. And I'm curious, like if you look at their website, I don't know what steel they use. Yeah, Brownells does. We actually reached out to Brownells a while back, and they seem to have been shifting towards AR-15 platforms for a bit there. They weren't interested in new slides. But then I had seen that they had switched from using 17.4 stainless steel to 416R, which it's quality steel. It'll work. And people create great slides with them. Just we prefer 17.4. And there's a few companies that do it. Zeb's, Fury, Grey Ghost, Brownells formerly, us, and then Leo Precision did before they went out of business and sold to Desert Cat. I believe Desert Cat still uses 17.4, but I'm not sure. It should be a little snug, but they're easy to remove. So I would functions check it, and when you're at the range, keep an eye on it. You can always get a recoil spring assembly replacement. Damn, I wish I had one of ours. It can, and they do. They don't fail often, but like if you get a cheap one, they can fail. But they will actually need replacing after so many thousands of rounds. Was the recoil spring, was that OEM, or did that come from some other upper parts kit? Okay, that's interesting. Is it easily removable, or it's like falls out, or? Like when you put everything together, is it still holding firm? And does it cycle properly? Be right back. Gonna grab some water. That's interesting. Huh. Yeah, I'd keep an eye on it and then be prepared to get a replacement spring. I know you can get some from the Glock store at varying poundages, but the 15 to 18 pound range should be right where you need to be. There we go. Oh, yeah, you can. Let me pull up the Glock store actually. We reached out to them a little while back. We were looking to possibly stock some springs on our website. Here we go. And these range at like $35, and you can get them for varying. So like if you get them for the Glock 19, it looks like they stock in 15, 18, 20, and 22 pound springs. I like that they're color coded. That's interesting. But you should also be able to get, cheaper ones than this. These are their competition steel springs. Right on. Have a good one, Kurt. Oh, I've been doing this for a little over an hour. Let's see. We'll go into a final on Desert Cat and then answer any questions you guys might have. And then we'll probably call it. So this is the slide that caused issues on Facebook and a few other places where people were legitimately confused, and understandably so, about who made what slide. And so this here is the LP19 Crusher made by Leo Precision. It was made, I want to say, August, September timeframe of 2024. No, sorry, 2023. And we had been making what it was copied from, the SM19 Flash, which I have here, since March of 2023. And when Leo Precision went out of business and sold to Desert Cat, Desert Cat picked up the same model. So, we don't blame them for that. And there's no, vendetta or no targeting of them. It's just they're a company who bought another company and bought the models they were using, and that's what they do. No big issue there. And you'll notice the difference is on the ported windows on top. Instead of a rectangular window, they use two oblongs. On the front, they use what they call a raptor cut for the muzzle, and then they use a different RMR plate cover. But otherwise, the rest of the slide is match for match the same. No, not on the higher power spring, no. They'll be about the same exact length. It's just there's more tension. Carbonated water. For the 92S, I wonder, is it still popular enough to, do any companies make slides for the 92? Honestly, we haven't had a whole lot of experience with it. In the Army, we had that right before they switched over to the M17. And I wonder, it's really anything that we could get to our distributors, vendors, and our customers. If there's a demand there, we'd consider it. Right now, the big demand is, obviously Glock 19s, Glock 17s, 43s, 26s. So I'm going to remove this, and hopefully YouTube doesn't freak the fuck out. But yeah, when they switched from the M9 to the M17, we got pretty used to this. They did some shooting competitions, a lot of range quals, and we got real used to the M17. The M9 was great. It's just all the ones that were in stock that for the armory, they were well used, well worn. The finish was pretty much gone on a lot of them. And they were heavy enough that if you ever ran out of ammo, you could beat somebody to death with them. So, they were definitely good for that. The new M17s being polymer. And then, of course, people have issues with SIG for various reasons. There we go. And now away, because I can't put it anywhere near the camera. But the M9, if there was a demand for it, yeah, we'd consider it. Anything outside of Glock, it'd probably be the M&P 2.0, SIG P365, maybe something with Ruger, maybe. But I know with a lot of the issues with the 320, probably not that. But, we haven't experienced the same issues with the 320 that other people have. So I'm real curious to see how things go with that in the future. Actually, that's not even, when it comes back to that slide, that's not even the only one that was copied. The Leonidas was copied as well. And the only change was the muzzle. Right on the nose, where they put the raptor cut. Hey, it's Ben. What's going on, Ben? Yep, that was the only change they did. And They changed the name, obviously, too. We call ours Leonidas. They called theirs Zippa, which is a weird name, but whatever. That's their decision. So we've been showing off some slides, Ben, going through a few of ours, and this episode was largely about a public announcement about Stiffler Manufacturing, Leo Precision, and Desert Cat, and why some of the slides look a little similar. Man, we'd love it. Won't be doing the 17s yet. That'll be, if everything goes right, no one throws a wrench in our way, we'll have 17s sometime during Q2. I'm hoping by the end of June. But we definitely have plenty of 19s. Get you hooked on a Viper. Yeah, the 19 does work with the Glock 45. Let's see who. There was a gun tuber that did that not too long ago. I want to say the gun guy. Let's see if I can find him. Or maybe it was Melly. No, not Melly. No. There he is. Let's see. Damn, everyone's switching to ARs and AKs. And frickin' G-flexes. That's one we'll probably talk about at some point. We've got probably blacklisted a gun tuber, unfortunately. Well, the only reason we're familiar with them, Ben, is both my brother and I, we had SIGs in the Army. And did some range calls with them, did some competition shooting. And there was one issue when they were first implemented, and it was the rear sight plate tended to fly off in the middle of a range call. And no one really knew why, and they've since resolved the issue, and it hasn't been a problem. The binary Glock could be pretty cool. That's what I was just mentioning about the M9 earlier, is all the ones we had, they were so worn that the original finish was long worn away. You could definitely see the stainless steel underneath. And when you run out of ammo, they're so heavy you could beat someone to death with them. You could do that with a SIG, but damn, that M9 was heavy. Exactly, doubles as a hammer. And I'm sure people used it like that too. Let's see. Yeah, here it is. Found it. So this is a gun tuber called the Gun Guy. We sent him out a SM19 Leonidas in Sig Pink a while back. There we go. And so he put that SM19 on a Glock 45 frame. I wonder if YouTube's going to be okay with this. Are they okay with screen sharing of range videos? I'll post a link for that guy down there too. We should reach out to him again. Yeah, that's right, Damien. You do need a backplate change. See, I freaking knew it. Knew someone would use that damn thing as a hammer. And then we do have, I've shown all the others, but we do have our new 19 slide that we're calling the Turbo. Should see it on the website before too long. No, we unfortunately we lost our building that we wanted, and we got our new machine. So, but alternate plans are on hold. No, there's no plans to make our own barrels yet. Right now, for our completes, we get barrels from ELD Performance, and all the parts kits are from SCT Manufacturing. So, no plans to make our own barrels yet. Um, Next big focus is just the 17. And maybe we'll do it someday. Make our own barrels. But right now, and definitely in the near future, that's a no. We've got quite a few completes. Yeah, that one's great. The shimmer aluminum complete. That's becoming pretty popular. There she is. SM19 Leonida or Viper with the SCT upper parts kit, ELD Performance barrel, Glock OEM sights, and it's not a steel, like that's not the steel finish. That is a shimmer aluminum Cerakote on the coating. Oh, right on. I'll probably stay on a little longer then. Just trying to. I wish I had more to show off. The whole thing with Rumble did not go well, so I'm restricted to just showing off slides for the moment. And whatever questions you guys got, feel free to ask them. Actually, we ended up getting one of those little electronic turntables. We'll probably start doing some videos like FV, and we'll just have one of the slides, or maybe a whole complete build just sitting there spinning while we talk to people. Let's see. Do I have any others? What haven't I shown off yet? This one was actually a bit of a change. This is a red habanero Cerakote on the SM19 Helmet. And we used to use crimson, but we found this is easier to spray. Hey, FV Ordnance, what's going on? Yes, sometimes we'll switch Cerakotes either because it's not selling very well, or if we find one that's similar in appearance and it's better to spray, we'll switch. Here for the bats. So update on the company. So the new shop we were looking at getting, that did not, that fell through. So we're expanding the current shop that we have. We're getting new machines. And if all goes well, we're going to be making the 17 hopefully by the end of June, if nothing gets in our way. But that's life sometimes. Things getting in your way. But yeah, if all works, we'll have 17s and hopefully moving on from there. And a stiff point 2025. Yeah, people want to see that stiff point or the stiffy. If we ever make a 17L, they want to see it called the stiffy. Let's see here. We also got new slide. So we actually did get something new out. SM19 Turbo with a single ported window on top. And it does have the front and rear serrations like a Gen 5, but it's a Gen 3. If anything, we do have the prototype for the 17, but no, unfortunately, nothing else is in production. It'd be pretty damn cool, though. We could just chem dip freaking slides, put designs on them. That'd be awesome. Plus, then we could do that to other stuff, too, so, like bats. And then you're in 2 now, FE, so we'll go over this one again. A large part of this live was to go over people complaining or inquiring about the similarities between this slide, the getting tired, SM19 Flash. And I'll share a screen here in a second. And these 2 slides here, which are, or at least they were formerly designated the LP19 Crusher. They're still called Crusher, but now since Leo Precision was bought out by Desert Cat, I assume their designator is going to be DC19 or something like that. And so as you'll notice, there is similarities, unlike the rectangular ported window cut that we utilize. They took the design and switched to 2 oblong window cuts at top. The front of the muzzle has what they call a raptor cut in the nose, and then the rear of the slide, they utilize a different RMR plate cover. Otherwise, everything about the slides are the same. And essentially, Leo copied the design while we were still in the same state. And when we headed out to Arizona, he released that design. And when they sold to Desert Cat got that model. Glock 20. Maybe. It's kind of on the list, but the next few are probably going to be 17. Well, definitely 17. But after that, distributors and vendors keep asking for the 43. Yes, so they did. And that wasn't the only one either. So we call it the SM19 Flash. They called it the LP19 Crusher. What we call here the SM19 Leonidas, they have a copy of it called the Zippa, which the only difference in it is the muzzle has their raptor cut. And when Leo Precision went out of business and sold to Desert Cat, they just got all those models, whether they realize it or not. So actually, and funny enough, we have a Flash with that raptor cut from the time when we were trying to do a collaboration and we were working in the same area together. We do not make these anymore. There's a few floating out there, but no, the price is about similar. I did talk to some Desert Cat employees before we got banned on Reddit, but right around that same time, a lot of gun businesses, a lot of 2A businesses were getting banned and getting censored on Reddit, so the conversation never continued. A lot of their stuff got deleted. I don't know if they ended up getting banned too. They probably did. I know multiple businesses got banned. And we're available. I assume they're aware of us. If they want to ever reach out, that's, if they want to. Otherwise, we're just going to keep, chugging along. Funny enough, we're both in the same state too. So that makes it kind of interesting. Let's see. Let's see. What's their price? Desert Cat USA. Yeah, I think they run theirs for what, 155, and we range our slides from 145 to 210 plus, depending on which model, which color, and if it's complete or not. So I think the most expensive one we sell is like 260, but that's a complete. So it comes with the barrel, parts kit, and iron sights. Have a good one, Ben. They were back when it was Leo Precision, though. They did copy a lot of the prices. So, like for eBay, for example, if we listed something at 160, they'd list the same or similar model, right, at 159.99, going 1 penny cheaper. So that was always funny. And there was a bit of catch up for a while, where we started doing blend slides, where half the slide is one color, half the slide is the other. Kind of like our Liberty slides that are on our site. So we started doing blends, and they started doing blends. And then, man, I wish I had one on me. We started doing Space Worn, which was a kind of battle worn type slide. And sure enough, they started doing Space Worn, or their version of it. Yeah, we can do one. We've held off sending out slides just because we're so busy with the shop, trying to make sure our customers and our distributors are taken care of. But we've got a short list on people we'd send slides to for reviews, or if we just join them on a live and talk about it, show stuff off. Yeah, we do that. I'm amazed you're actually able to get monetized on YouTube. It seems like a lot of 2A channels can't do that anymore. Hell, I'm surprised they were letting me touch my slides. Good old FDE. Oh, no doubt. I'm just waiting on like Facebook to try and ban us again. The last big attempt was the Marine Corps birthday, and they've just been harassing us ever since. Where we posted a slide, said "Happy Birthday, Marine Corps." Get 10% off with discount code military, and Facebook lost their shit. Wild. We were talking about a little bit earlier too, Michigan having their crazy color law. So where this Viper being gray would be perfectly legal. And if the law were to pass, this Viper being orange would be illegal. And so would this Viper that's white would also be illegal. Because they're trying to ban colors. Or like this red habanero pellet slide would be illegal. Which is just astonishing to me. Yeah, Facebook is anti-2A as they come. Everything meta, really. So Instagram, Threads, whatever else they own. YouTube is like a middle ground. where it's like they don't want to monetize you. They don't want you touching certain things or doing certain things. Or Rumble seems to be pretty pro, but it's still new. There's still kinks. That'd be such a... We thought about it. We thought about making a rainbow slide just because why not? And it'd be like 10 to 12 hours of painting and curing work to make a rainbow slide. And it's just, it'd be so fucking, it's gonna be so much of a pain in the ass. But maybe there's a way we could do it if we taped and we sprayed and we taped and we sprayed. Nah, it's not gonna work right. You'd still have to oven cure it. Yeah, they do. Some people have already put them on them. I saw someone put one on one of our Vipers, and they were able to fit it just fine. And I think also the zoom. I wish I had a zoom on me. I don't have one right now. Close comparison would be the turbo. That front. That might work. Cardboard. Yeah, that might work. Downside would be setting up the different paints over and over. You do a little bit for one pass, then you clean the gun, then you set up the hopper for the second pass, and you clean it back and forth. That would suck. Our painters would lose their minds. Well, the way they do it right now is they mix a batch, and then they paint anywhere from like 15 to 40 slides at a time. And then those go and get cured. And then they clean everything, and they start on the next batch of 15 to 40 at a time. And the process repeats itself. We're dealing with a little bit of that right now, doing stenciling work for camo slides. So we wanted to do those for a while now. See if I have any. I don't think we have them listed. Oh, yeah, here we go with the Camu. We have that. But I don't think we have any listed on the website for forest camo yet. Yep, here it is. We have it on our eBay, not on our website yet. Yeah, we do get a few, like what's one of them? Like the pink pistols. They're like a LGBT pro Second Amendment group. We've had some of them buy some of our gun or some of our slides. The SIG pink colored ones were ones they did. And we've had a few others reach out. They're like, do you have a problem? Like, you're Americans and you want to build and shoot guns? Whatever your personal politics are, that's your problem. It's like, as long as you're pro Second Amendment, we'll sell to you. Freaking rainbow. I'm sure someone's made one, you know. Oh, no, that's metallic rainbow. I want, like... Yeah? Yeah, people did. Okay. I'll show that one off. Here we go. Yes. Thank you for reminding me that we have been permanently banned from Reddit. Yeah, we could probably make this. There's our new camo. We first introduced this at SHOT Show back in January, along with a few other slides, and we'll start doing more. And of course, the Camu, got to have that cow slide. Yeah, that'd be an interesting way to do it. Well, on the H series, you don't have to bake right away, but on the F series, it looks like you do. And we're starting to do some of the F series for a lot of our bulk stuff. And it seems like it cures faster. And according to Cerakote, it's also a little more durable than the H series as well. Yeah, we've got Shooting Gallery wants, let's see, where was that cookies and cream? Shooting Gallery wants the first cookies and cream Viper we do. We make them in the Zoom right now. Let's pull that up. Cookies and cream. I'm trying to think if they have any others of ours. They don't have the turbo. They have one similar to the Viper, but they haven't been making it ever since Desert Cat took over. They haven't made their version of the Viper. It's a little different. They have like a bullnose front rather than the chamfer that we use. Which is the funny story behind this one. We actually got a business reached out to us about making a slide for them, and they wanted 200 slides a month, I think it was. And then when we made them, we made the first 200, and they weren't ready to buy. They didn't want to buy, and we're like, well, we already spent all the money on the steel. We already spent all the money on our end mills and carbide and coolant, and like, so here it is, and now you don't want to buy it. They're like, so either we just sell them to whoever or you guys buy them. And they didn't want to buy them anymore. So now it has become our most popular slide that we sell. So I guess a miss for them. For whatever reason, they didn't want to buy at the time. And we sell more Vipers than any other slide that we make. It's just insanely popular for people. And if you guys got any questions, feel free to ask. Each of those changes a little bit. I don't remember offhand, but I do have a scale. I believe the Zoom weighs the most since it has the least material removed from it. Let's see here. One SM19 Flash with RMR cover, 8.9 ounces. One Leonidas, 9.2 ounces. One Viper, 9.4, 1 pellet, 10 ounces even, and 1 turbo, 9.8 ounces. Oh. Uh, 15 to 18 on average. There's a little play with people's UPKs and what exactly they're using it for. But I mean, I know 18, 17, 18 is standard Glock OEM weight. And another gun tuber, Jack of all trades, did some dialing his build in. He used a Flash space warrant, and he prefers a 15-pound spring with his build. So depending on what you're doing and just how your build's set up, we usually recommend between 15 and 18. And I dropped my scale. Tab on the barrel holds down, so it's slightly out of spec. Interesting. I wonder if that can easily be corrected. A little bit of Dremel work, or if you would just need to procure a new barrel. Like how badly out of spec, you know? And unfortunately, that's something that happens. And there's this massive belief that even the best companies, you know, all their stuff is 100% all the time. And no, there's human error. There's even machine error where a tool wears down. Sometimes the tool wears down faster than you expect. You have a expected tool life. And, you know, let's say, for example, Glock is in the production of whatever slide or whatever barrel, and they bought their end mills and they bought their tools from whatever company, and somebody at that company made a mistake, or maybe somebody at that company didn't make a mistake. Maybe it was the steel they procured. Nothing is ever, 100% sure. There can always be a fault somewhere along the way. And we experienced something similar a while back. We had procured a bad batch of steel, and it was creating a nightmare for us to make slides. It was hard on the outside, it was gummy on the inside, and we had to reach back out. And we're like, hey, this is what's going on with our steel. We got to do a steel shipment. Footprint we're using is the Trigicon RMR, and we are using a flat optic cut, which means there are no boss lugs. I wonder if Glock will replace the barrel for you. Like, you reach out to them and explain what happened, and they'll just do a swap. Yeah, it's a great cut. It works, Hollow Sun 507, Gideon Optics Omega, SROs. The whole RMR line is amazing. So we did pick up, I don't know if we'll do anything with it. We have an Acro, and we can do the MOS, but I think we're just going to stick with RMR. It's out there, it's popular, people like it. We don't have to do adapter plates for a lot of stuff for people. Well, at the very least, they don't have to buy an adapter plate most of the time. So I think just sticking with RMR is the way to go. So who knows? Maybe sometime in the future we'll do MOS optic cuts and acro and whatever else. Absolutely true. Death and taxes. And that your politician is lying to you. Even if they're telling the truth about something, they're lying about something else. Oh, nice. Yeah, I mean, if there's a defect, I'd try and do a swap because, I mean, that's something we would do. If someone told us they had an issue with our slide, we were to inspect, we're like, oh, yep, there is an issue. We'll just replace it for you. Does she? Does she, though? Curious to see how popular the new white is going to be as we switch from Stormtrooper to Arctic. This one has a kind of glossy finish after it's cured, and the Arctic is a bit more matte. But it should make things, yeah, it is bright. It should make things like doing the camus and a few other a lot easier. The Stormtrooper is not an easy spray, and it's not always very consistent. Sometimes what you get from the factory, it seems like it's like there's just too much sediment in it, if that makes sense. It's a little more viscous. It does get pretty. There we go. Get some light on it. Yeah, too many solids. Yeah, it's a little reflective. Yeah, it is reflective. That sounds about right. I'm sure they have it on the spec sheet somewhere. And I know it's different per color though too. Like certain colors are just there's more in it than there are other colors. So it's a good point there, definitely, Kelvin. But I do got to give them this with them using a fifth axis CNC machine. That is, they can make some really cool stuff, and they have made some really cool stuff. But the price point, I mean, they've been around, they've earned their name. It's just like Glock's been around for a long time. They've earned their name, and you've got Zev and Safiri and Grey Ghost, and they've all earned their name. So there is a bit of brand recognition that comes with price, but sometimes you look at a company that made a slide, it's like looking at a Michael Kors bag that looks like it was made by a grade schooler, but it still sells for $300. It doesn't make sense. And you see a bare bones slide selling for $500 to $1,000, and you're like, I get it, brand name recognition, but it's still a bare bones slide for 500 plus. It doesn't make any sense. At least to me, it doesn't. And it always sucks when we've had to raise our prices because we've tried to keep it affordable for a lot of people. This is our most expensive, and it's around 210. And the whole reason it's expensive is doing all those windows is a pain in the ass, and the deburring and the painting. It's not easy, so we have to charge a little more compared to, say, the turbo, where It's a few serrations. You've got your optics cut like they all do, and it's just one big window right there for your ported barrel. It's still timely, like to mill it out. And you still got to deburr it. You still got to sand it and paint it, QC it, but we can sell it cheaper because there's less work comparatively to do on it than, say, the Leonidas or the Flash, which I can tell you deburring all those little windows can sometimes be a real pain. Yeah, time costs money. A lot of places to get a gun. So sometimes you're just paying for how much of a pain it is to make, or at the very least to finish. I was talking to a guy that is learning how to do his own Cerakote work, and he showed off his finished product, and it took him, he said, 10 hours to do it. Some rifle he was working on, and a big factor that some of the customers weren't taking into consideration were the 10 hours of his time to do that work. Some people might think it's worth it, some people might not, and you've got to balance how much to charge somewhere in the middle. Oh yeah, that's a good concern. Oh god, I hate it when that. We had and it happens every once in a while where we lose pressure in the line, and you're in the middle of spraying, and now you just get paint runs, and you have to ask yourself the question: do we sand it back, or do we just sell the blem? And a good deal of the time, it's just faster to sell it as a blem, and someone's happy to get a slide for a little cheaper that has no mechanical issues. It's just it cured wrong, painted wrong. I swear that was one of the sites our slides ended up on. Not actually. There were a lot of Russian, Belarusian, and Chinese websites that ours, Gragos, Zev, Safiri, God, Brownells, you name it. Everybody's slides were showing up on these scam websites for half of what we normally charged. So if we were selling a slide for 180, it was showing up 80, $90 on one of these Russian websites. And we had to do so many public service announcements. Not just everybody had to do so many announcements. We're American companies. We don't sell overseas. If you see a Russian website selling our stuff, it's probably a scam. You're gonna lose your money. And I swear some of our like parts kits ended up on Temu like temporarily. Then there were so many complaints from people. Not right now. We don't. We plan to in the future when we get a good laser engraver. We'll probably put the there we go, weird Stiffler Dragon on the back. Probably put that somewhere on the slide. Thinking not this one. Yeah, this one here. We'll probably put it right here for the Flash. For the Viper, probably right there. It started out as a snake and just became a dragon at some point.
All right, that's the thing.
Pop off for just a sec. Be right back. Oh yeah, just down to a few people. That's okay. This is our first just solo live. Mostly just a PSA about that other company copying. Dead giveaway on theirs is just that Raptor cut right on the front. I used to ignore it for a good long while, but people start asking questions too much. It's like, all right, you got to go and talk about it now and then. I think we only got a couple of these left. I think we sold these off to RBT or some small company because we are not making anything with that cut. And will not. Well, something might change. I can't say will not. Something might change, and all of a sudden, customers like, hey, can you make that? I want to buy 100 of them. Okay. Yeah, that was a test live. I was trying to get people like that were following us on YouTube to go check out Rumble, and we, I guess, just screwed Rumble up. Haven't figured out what we did wrong, but it wasn't working going live. So we'll have to play around with that a bit and figure out what's going on, figure out what we did wrong, and we'll probably do a lot of YouTube lives. Yeah, actually, we thought for a little bit there what we might do. And I'm not sure if we're going to do that anymore. Is you can see the Armor optic cut and how flat it is. We thought about putting the information on there so that when it's covered, either with the Armor plate or when someone puts an optic on it, that they don't have to see that information unless they want to. So probably put the Dragon up in there, Stiffler Manufacturing, and whatever other information, made in USA, whatever. Or for the unmarked slides. I mean, it's kind of what they do with Polymer 80 or any of the unmarked 80% frames. I had to see what was wrong with this one. All the ones I have here are they have minor blemishes, but they're great for showing off. And I almost could not find the blemish on this Stormtrooper white. And then I finally see it on the undercarriage. And you can't see it in the video, but if you look at it close hand, there are tiny little bubbles where the Cerakote didn't settle properly. But again, it's in the place that no one's going to be looking at. But our quality control checker, she's so adamant that this became a blem slide. Yeah, blisters. I mean, no one would ever see them. They're on the frame, no issues. But we really do have to appreciate how thorough she is with it. The most minute issue that we would not even notice, that we even get comments when we sell blem slides sometimes that the customer can't find the blemish. She found it. None of the rest of us did. Nah, we'll keep her working
She
cheap.
wrestling's on yet?
Nah, she's gonna get a raise.
Well, long cut. This is a 2x4. However long. Stick a fucking that wall. Into a screw.
Damn dog. Yeah. I wonder if I can even find one of those anymore. Oh, there is a YouTube video on it.
Stuff that needs done. You gotta do it.
Here it is. Found it. See if we can show that to you guys. All right, man. Good talking with you. There we go. All right, guys. I think that's where we'll. Wait, what's that? I think that's where we'll cut it to. We've been doing this for a little over 2 hours now. You guys all have a good one. Stay 2A.